Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card out is Seven of Swords. The second card out is Two of Cups. And the third card out is Five of Wands. All right. Seven of Swords and Two of Cups can be something that's going on with somebody, with you and somebody that you are close with. Having Five of Wands can show that there's like conflict that's happening because of this. You can feel like something is going on where the air is not clear. Seven of Swords is connected with, like, it can be a distortion. It's connected with things that haven't been brought to light or illuminated. Like somebody can be hiding something. That can kind of be the vibe. But more than anything, it's coming back to a space where you may not be trusting yourself. And so I see Seven of Swords when it comes out as being sort of a nod in that direction of, if you're feeling like something is going on and you feel suspicious of it, or you feel like you're doing something where you're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, now is really the time to be checking in. This looks like it's something that's happening with you and somebody that you're close with, a very, very close relationship, the Two of Cups here. So you can feel sort of at odds with someone based off of this. Trust your instinct, but also check yourself if you feel like it's the time to do that. You can feel too like this is getting in the way of things feeling happy. Like maybe before things felt better for some reason. That doesn't mean that they can't now, but I am seeing stuff that's being brought up. It feels like this is past stuff that's being brought up here. It seems like there's a conversation happening about it. Okay. Is this resolved already or no? Seven of Swords, but I'm seeing Ace of Wands be underneath it. So this feels like if something weird had been going on, or if somebody hadn't been fully like confessing something, or if you had been doing something where you're like, I should really tell them about this, Ace of Swords is going to be that moment where anything that had not been disclosed, or if you hadn't been trusting yourself, whatever way that this ends up manifesting for you, Ace of Swords is that moment of illumination and clarity, which can mean that something was going on. Also too, like maybe somebody wasn't trusting another person. Can be lots of different things. Ace of Swords is a really great thing to be seeing here because it shows that anything that had not been being brought to light is now being brought to light. This can illuminate things that were unconscious before as well. I'm seeing the moon here, which can be like things that we're thinking or feeling that we're not fully realizing. So some of you, I wonder if you had a feeling about something. You could have had a feeling about something and been like, am I just like making this up right now? Or am I really feeling something about it? Am I noticing something? Am I not listening to myself? Ace of Swords feels like that moment of whatever may have been unclear or unspoken about, or had been hidden in some way or not realized. Ace of Swords will be that moment when things come to light. So whatever had been hidden, whether somebody was doing it on purpose or not, it all comes to light then. Having Two of Cups and having the moon can be some things going on that it feels like there had been conflict that was sort of bubbling to the top here. You can feel like you're really seeing an outline of the dynamic between you and this person. I wonder what this was that came to light. It's going to be different depending on whose energy the Seven of Swords is. I will say this too. With Seven of Swords and Two of Cups, if you have somebody that you're close with, Seven of Swords is something that can make you feel not close with a person. So Two of Cups is like, we're supposed to be authentic, we're supposed to be ourselves, we're not supposed to have a mask on or be hiding, because Two of Cups requires intimacy and honesty. Seven of Swords can be things that would get in the way of that. But Seven of Swords can also be like an ungrounded energy. Sometimes it's being suspicious about things. Sometimes it's our own psyche that's coming up. And there's not always something going on. It really just depends on one's situation. But what I'm getting from this is it feels like this has been highlighted. So if something had been going on, that has now been revealed. If something had been going on internally, that's now been revealed. It feels like it's being in a moment of stark truth, where it's like that had been in the shadows before, now it's in the light. And you can also feel too like you're in some type of territory with another person where you're sort of moving through things in an unknown type of way. The moon can be like a bit of unfamiliar territory or unknown territory that you're moving through with somebody, and you have to sort of lean on your intuition. But also when things are going on psychologically, it can make it a little bit confusing. Am I feeling this? And it's like a gut feeling. Where is it coming from? Is this coming from my own past stuff? Is it coming from something that's happening now? So it's about sort of going into that and seeing, where is this coming from? Am I actually seeing something in this other person, or is this just coming from me and where I am with things and stuff that I'm not even aware of half the time? So yeah, you could have gotten into an argument, is what this seems like. Yeah, needing to figure that out. I feel like whether it be both of you or just this other person, stuff that there wasn't an awareness of now comes to light, where there is an awareness of those things. So it can be like we're calling them just your partner, but this can be anybody that's involved in this situation with you. It's somebody you're in very close proximity with, that it's supposed to be just good between the two of you, where there's like, you guys are together, you work as a unit, there's emotional intimacy, at least there would be like emotional understanding, those things with you and this person, like cut from the same cloth type of vibes with the two of you. Having Seven of Swords here and Ace of Swords can be somebody doing something where they were like, I wasn't aware of that, because Seven of Swords can be something that's going on within the shadows. And whether somebody's like deliberately hiding something, or they're not aware that they're projecting, it can be those types of situations. And this feels like, with Two of Pentacles here, it feels like figuring out the difference between what is a distortion, what's a projection coming up from my unconscious energy, versus what is the actual truth, and figuring out how to find those things. Like, am I feeling, again, an example, am I feeling like suspicious of this person, or feeling like something's going on because I'm dealing with some unresolved stuff that I'm not projecting onto this person? Or is something really going on and I'm getting a feeling of this, and then I'm not listening to myself? So I feel like there's this trying to discern, like, is it this or is it that? But it could have been something that was throwing off a situation between you and another person, is what this seems like. And I also too feel at the same time, having Two of Cups and having the moon is feeling like you may be in a sort of like unknown situation with this person, or something where you're just like figuring things out as you go. And this could have been one of those times where it's like I'm in a situation with this person where, because of having the moon here, I have to tune in to what I'm feeling and figure things out based off of that. So what is my intuition, or what is my gut telling me? And then having some stuff pop up that's connected with the Seven of Swords can be misinterpreting certain things. Like, I'm getting a feeling about this, I'm interpreting it this way, and that's not always the case. But then sometimes it is. It really just depends on the moment. So this feels like figuring out, is it coming from there, or is it coming from here? Is it a distortion, or is it a truth? And also making sure that you're doing stuff that you feel aligned with. So you're making sure that this is not your own energy. Because that is the thing with the Seven of Swords. When you're not in a space of full truth, it's very hard to know energetically, if your throat chakra is not cleared, whether or not another person's is. So that means like whether or not they're telling the truth or not, and your ability to decipher that. So that's also something that can come up too. I do feel like this is a path that you're sort of committed to walking upon, and I'm seeing there had been like conflict that sort of presented itself. But then it seems like you find your footing. So actually this feels more resolved than anything, and this feels more like a review than anything. Because at the end of this, I'm seeing things feel like they go back into a place where things are fine with you and this person. I feel like stuff from the past is being illuminated as well, like working through certain things and making progress. So you can see even stuff from the past that's being highlighted through this, but I'm seeing it be in like a positive light where there's a sense of awareness about things too. Okay. This unknown situation is more so what this is feeling like with you and this person. I'm seeing that you move quickly through this. It can also be stuff where things are coming to light that were not there before. So it's kind of like a mysterious situation that you enter with someone where you're like, I don't know what we're going to find in here, but let's sort of go into this room and explore. And it seems like it has to do with your dynamic with this person, something that you're doing together with them. Okay. So I do see definitely a sense of commitment that you have being on this path. And as I said before, it feels like this had been a bit of a, you're on the path walking with this person and this thing comes up and you have to deal with it. You have to work it out essentially. You could feel as well like you feel happiest too when everybody is sort of responsible for themselves as well. I'm getting something like that, like stuff that has to do with, even though I'm seeing you be with another person here, I will say this too, you can also feel like this is something that you're doing with yourself as well. Like Two of Cups can be you navigating through a situation that's in front of you, and it is giving you the opportunity to come back together with yourself. So if you had been doing something that you weren't feeling good about, where you're like, okay, now I'm realizing that I was doing that from a shadow space. Two of Pentacles and the, not Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups and the Moon can be you finding out how to come back together with yourself in a way that you could have been feeling at odds with yourself. You could have been experiencing like dissonance or some type of duality where it was feeling like there wasn't a mending between the aspects of yourself, like there wasn't an integration. And then because of this going on, you could have been feeling conflict about something that you've currently been pursuing and investing in. And it feels like this sheds light on the importance of, it feels like you doing things for yourself. you being able to rely on yourself, trust yourself to know what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, what feels aligned, how to even reestablish a sense of peace and a feeling of groundedness within yourself. And the emotional aspect of that, how that's reflected through. And I do feel too like things from the past have come to light. So it can be stuff that like, oh, I wasn't aware of that before. I didn't even know that I was doing that. And now I'm realizing that that's what was going on, that that's what was happening. But it can come from a place where you're realizing, this is a place within my life or something that's going on with me where I still feel like wounded because of this. I wasn't realizing that, and then I was acting these things out in an unconscious way, and now I'm coming to light with that, to that. But it can be things that you do that end up like creating issues that you may not have been aware of before. But you can be in a situation with someone where you're like, I've never been in this type of spot with somebody before. But it also at the same time, it's giving you the opportunity to realize things about yourself that you've never realized before too. And that's why this is important, because it feels like there's a deeper self-knowledge that's being gained. Because I'm seeing what's happening is that as you're finding your way through this process, which it does feel like a figuring out that's happening, I'm seeing that you're investing more in actually like energetics and your spirituality, if you want to call it that. It's like the subtle stuff that's going on a very deep internal level that can be unconscious until we find ourselves in situations like this and we're willing to find the truth and dig things up. And I do feel like it's shedding light on stuff that you may not have known was there, that hadn't been integrated before. And I do feel too this sense of, as you're moving towards the end of this, there's this feeling of accomplishment, and there can also be a feeling too of deeper congruence than you were feeling before. And that it doesn't have to be the same stuff repeating because you're in a different space now, because that's what you're allowing room for and space for. Highlighting stuff about the past, in highlighting those things, not having to repeat those things anymore, and then being able to continue exploring and feeling all the while like you're investing in this deeper relationship with yourself, especially from an emotional standpoint. Like from an emotional, spiritual standpoint, you can be like, wow, this is me devoting an aspect of my energy through this process into like more of a depth of my emotional life, of understanding myself, of understanding my intuition, of understanding my psychology as well. Moon is connected with. It's like the things that motivate you emotionally too, also what triggers you. But I do feel more than anything like this is something that you weren't aware of before, that you can feel very, very happy that this has come to light now. And it could have been something that before you were resistant to seeing, but now you're like, oh, I'm seeing that. And it can be something that's really deep psychologically, that there could have been a really like repressed so deep down that it took this type of situation to sort of pull it back up, put it on display and be like, are you willing to look at this or not? And you made the choice to actually look at it. And that's what makes all the difference here. And it means too that you're exploring your connection with yourself through this. Even if another person is involved, you're exploring your connection with yourself through your relationship with this other person. And seeing that, what had been going on created the opportunity for conflict to present itself in a more tangible way. So as you're walking on the path, it's like, oh, this is a path that I want to be walking upon. Now this thing is presenting itself. I know that I want to be here, so that must mean that this is something to be addressing. And I'm willing to bring light to it. So it's not something that's going to hinder you any longer. I do feel like this is a deep-seated old pattern that you're becoming aware of, like this past stuff that's coming back up to be reviewed. And I do feel like it's allowing you to be released. I get the sense of when I see moon and I see Uranus, I feel like something startling or something very unexpected emotionally could have popped up, but it allows for you to really grow and expand at lightning speed, because Uranus moves very quickly, but it can be like, oh, I wasn't expecting to realize that about myself, or to see that that's how I was processing things, or how this unconscious stuff was manifesting and I was taking action based off of that. And then Uranus is like, if you're willing to look at this, you can really like grow quickly from this. And so it feels like in that moment, seeing something that may have been a repeated cycle for a long, long time, seeing the genesis of this, where it's coming from, this feels also too like a huge psychological realization that you're having as well. So this happening could have been like conflict with you and another person that needed to be worked out. That can be a way that this manifested, but then I'm seeing things be really good between the two of you. Like everything comes back together then. That's what I'm seeing here. Getting strong Pisces energy. I'm also seeing the moon here. And Uranus. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.